Hey everyone! We knew this day was gonna come, and after just over a month in Alaska, it was time to head south for the winter. So we packed up the camper and hit the road for the first of several really long driving days. Often as we drive, I can tell Kendrick is staring off into space, daydreaming about the mountains.
But still paying attention to the road. As we drove past Worthington Glacier on our way out of Valdez, I couldn't help but notice this trail going along a ridgeline, and I knew the views from there just had to be spectacular. Although we still had a lot of miles to drive to get to our destination for the night, we decided to pull a U-turn and go see what this trail was like.
I never really look forward to these random roadside hikes that Kendrick makes me go on, but I can tell you I never regret a single one of them. And this one was no different. This wasn't a long hike, it was only maybe a mile or two, but in that first mile it rose over 1,000 feet, so it was pretty steep. It was a really narrow trail, which actually made it kind of exciting and gave us really good views around every direction.
It's hard to beat a trail that just follows a ridgeline up to the base of a big glacier.
Now, it's not often that we stay the night in a campground, but one of our followers offered up a night in a really unique campground that we just couldn't pass up. In the small town of Tok, there's a place called the Alaskan Stoves Campground. That's right, the theme is stoves. If you want to, you can even hop on Airbnb to stay in their giant stove room. When we post about where we are online, there are a few places everyone says we have to go, and Chicken, Alaska was one of those places. Well, we made it to the town of Chicken. As you can see, they have a cafe, a saloon, a mercantile, and a chicken.
The town of Chicken has about a handful of buildings, but one of those buildings is a No Frills dive bar.
Cheers to Chicken, Alaska!
From Chicken, we decided to drive another super classic road, the Top of the World Highway.
I mean, how can you resist a road with a name like that? We're on top of the world!
Lucky for us, fall was starting to set in up north, so the entire drive down into Dawson was pretty gorgeous.
As we reached the end of the highway, only one obstacle remained, the Yukon River. This presented a unique opportunity to give Rocky another first, a ferry ride. The ferry ride was free and only about 5 minutes long, but still, we can say Rocky's crossed a river.
And has pretty good sea legs, or river legs.
Rocky's first ferry ride!
Got its sea legs. Taking the Top of the World Highway through Dawson City added about 4 hours to our drive. There must be a pretty good reason for us to drive this far out of our way when we're already in a little bit of a time crunch.
And you're right, there was a great reason. So on our way into Alaska, when we were at a rest stop, we were talking to a couple of bikers who were on their way to Dawson City. These bikers said they were coming here for their famous drink, a Sourtoe Cocktail. They told me it was a cocktail with a human toe in it. I flat out didn't believe them. I simply thought it must be fake. Of course, after we researched it more, I thought we have to go out of our way to do this.
Even 4 hours out of our way.
So now we find ourselves walking to this bar in Dawson City to get this drink. I don't know, we might be crazy.
Sounds good to me.
So after several weeks of some kind of nervous anticipation, we arrived at the Sourdough Saloon in the downtown hotel of Dawson City.
The rules of the toe drink are pretty simple. Buy a shot of alcohol that's at least 80 proof. Pay the keeper of the toe $5 to put the toe in your drink. And then you can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch the toe.
I actually didn't think this was going to be that gross, but when I saw the toe, it was way more real looking than I thought it was going to be. For some reason, I went first. Maybe to get it over with.
And it's our money we got to be really nice. But your lips must actually smile.
My whole theory was just to do it as quick as possible to get it over with as fast as possible. And I did, and now I can say I did it, and I never have to do it again.
So, with the toe in my drink, I decided to just slam the shot. And my first thought was, Yukon Jack whiskey really isn't that bad. My second thought was, the toe's stuck in the bottom of my glass. I guess I'll just tap on it a little bit. And then, of course, the toe just launched out and went right into my mouth. Tasted like a toe.
I have to say the toe keeper seemed a little bit upset.
Now, once upon a time, there was a $500 fine for anybody who swallowed the toe while taking the toe drink. That was until one patron showed up, took the drink, swallowed the toe, and slammed $500 down on the table.
Now, the fine is $2,500.
Apparently, that's been enough to keep people from trying to swallow the toe. For now.
Unfortunately, we had to race through two of the most beautiful national parks, Jasper and Banff in Canada, in order to get to Kendrick's 100-mile race in Idaho.
Before you say it, we know we skipped a lot of beautiful terrain throughout Canada, but you know what? It's a lot harder to get to Alaska, so we'll go back to Canada later.
We did, however, have one sunrise in Banff National Park, and we were not going to waste that. So we woke up early and went to Moraine Lake to experience one of the most peaceful sunrises we've had in a long time.
As the sun started to rise over Moraine Lake, I couldn't help but notice a striking similarity between it and one of our other favorite places, Maroon Lake at the Maroon Bells in Colorado.
It's especially important on long driving days to make sure you take a minute to get outside and just remind yourself that it's not all about being behind the wheel and in the passenger seat of a car.
Throughout most of my travels, I've always preferred just showing up to a new place with the plan that no plan is a plan, and just seeing what happens.
We went into Alaska with an open mind, which allowed us a lot of spontaneous experiences, such as taking a U-turn for an unexpected hike, going out of our way to touch our lips to a toe, and even waking up for sunrise in a place we didn't expect to be.
And for us, that's the best way to travel.
So, here's to not planning too much. Love and light. $500 wasn't enough. I mean, I don't think I could buy a toe for $500 if I wanted to.
I'll sell you one of my toes for $500.
Okay.